Hi beauties, welcome to my channel, HI Beauty by Julia. I'm Julia and I'm your virtual beauty therapist. I have been doing beauty for over 10 years, so I'm skincare enthusiast, but also skincare has been my job for quite a while now. They are these magic cooling ones that are going to reduce puffiness, reduce inflammation, brighten your complexion, work all this magic. But how much it is temporarily, how much it's long term, I do have to say that this is not the same as using some kind of actives. This is something quite temporary. You can see quite quick results, but they will not stay there for a very long time. So you have to keep doing the treatment if you want to get those type of results. It's not like you do it for 3 months and then you have 3 months break, but you still get the results, if this makes sense. Do you really need ice globes? It depends from your skin sensitivity, preferences, and a bunch of other things. Are they suitable for everyone? I have to say that they are for most of the people, if this makes sense. So if you have very severe rosacea where the blood vessels are very dilated, you don't want to have huge ups and downs into the temperature of the face. So this will be the case that I'll say probably for the ice globes, maybe, or more likely the one that you keep in the fridge. For me, generally, there's 2 reasons why I like them, and the most benefits I do think they bring on the table are related with the puffiness of the face. So especially if you use them well, you can do some lymphatic draining,
and it's very nice,
and it will reduce the puffiness into the face, whether we are talking about your puffy eyes or if you have some fluid retention. They can give you some difference into the more prominent jawline. So I'm not talking about reshaping your face, I'm talking about your puffy, you remove the fluid and you get more prominent features. The other very important difference that I believe that these treatments have are related with inflammation. So they can reduce the inflammation because they are cooling. For me personally, these are the 2 main benefits for the treatment. It's reducing the irritation, the redness, the cooling, the soothing type of sensation, and the reduction of the puffiness for any area that you will use actually the tool. So when it's hot outside, you have increased sweating, you're more likely to break out because of it. So by all means, applying something cold will construct the blood vessels. It can reduce the swelling, it can reduce obviously the puffiness, it can reduce the sweating as well on the face. When we talk about sebum secretion, yes, obviously you will secrete less sebum when it's cold than when it's hot, but this is not a life-changing type of tools when we are talking about acne and oiliness, in my opinion. So you will see tightening of the pores, but it is because basically your pores are shrinking from the cold. As soon as the temperature gets back higher, they will get more and more enlarged. So this is not something that will remove your enlarged pores. The whole point is that once the blood rushes back into the face, it will bring new blood cells, more nutrients, and that's why you have this type of bright look, if this makes sense. So that's why it is kind of a brightening, but not removing any type of pigmentation, reducing melanocytes. The change of temperature might be able to boost temporarily the production of collagen, but it is not, once again, something that will be a long-term firming and tightening the skin. You will see difference, but it's just for a bit and then it just goes back to normal. So one of the main positives as well as for the skin is that if you have sinusitis, if you have migraine, headaches in general, tension, the cold might help. But because I didn't know how my skin is going to react and obviously how it will work out for my headaches, I didn't want to get something that will have such a big temperature difference. So the one that I have are the one for the fridge, not the one for the freezer, and I do have to say they work great. The prep for your treatment will be mainly related with the maintenance of your globes and the condition of your skin. So the first thing that you have to bear in mind is that you do have to sanitize your gloves before you use them and after you use them to make them nice and clean. You don't want any dead skin cells, leftover product, any type of bacteria to go into your skin. What I personally do is I use soapy water and I wash them, and then I use an antibacterial solution. Before I use them, I clean them once again. So if you want, you can use something like alcohol. If you want, you can use any type of antibacterial solution, but make sure that you are cleaning your tool. The second thing you have to bear in mind is how you store your gloves. As I said, there are gloves that will go into the freezer and other that will go into the fridge. Make sure that you read the instruction and check out what you're purchasing exactly, because if you overlook and you wanted one, you might get the other. The last thing is obviously how long you use them. It's really up to you. If you use them less than 5 minutes, you won't see such a difference. If you use them just say for the eye area for 5 minutes, that's fine. So for me personally, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes is absolutely fine. It depends obviously from your timing, your areas of concern, how often you can do it. Really, if you want, if you have the time, you can do it every day. It's not something that will irritate your skin. It's more likely to soothe than to actually get some kind of reverse reaction. So I did a video about the gua sha a few weeks back, and it is definitely one of my favorite tools. However, I do use it in the evening. It is more specific because it tends to be a bit more aggressive, if this makes sense. So if your skin is very irritated, if you have any type of inflammation that is quite serious, obvious, then you don't want to use gua sha. Because of the shape, you can use pressure points with it, and you have to bear in mind that whatever is the material, you will warm it up much quicker even if you keep it in the fridge, because you're holding, because you're rubbing it against the skin and there is no liquid or anything inside. So that's the main difference. Then you have the facial rollers. There you can once again keep them in the fridge. They will warm up eventually as well. I do think that the ice globes will be, from all three of them, the best option when we are talking about the cooling sensation and keeping the low temperature for longer. You do have the option for the spoon in the fridge. This is definitely the cheapest option, but once again, it will warm up quicker. If you want to do it just for the eyes, definitely do it. It will not hurt you, but it will warm up much quicker than if you use the tool. And then of course you have the eyes. Ice on the face is not something that I will suggest for anyone with dry and sensitive skin. The main reason is because it is very stressful for the skin. So just applying ice might actually burn you, especially if you keep it in one place for a little bit longer. You might feel stinging, you might feel burning, redness. You can get actually cold sores all over the face because you're rubbing ice. I'm not saying that this is in all cases, but it is a possibility. You can have frost bites because of them. So I don't think this is the best option. Plus, definitely the mess they do create. They just melt, they just go over. So you don't have to buy ice globes, but they're, for me personally, especially when we are talking about cooling sensation, this type of cryo tool using lower temperature, they are the best option. As I said, cryo, you will see a lot of machines that are using cryotherapy. I've worked years ago, I don't know, probably it was around 6-7 years ago. I worked with Filorga, and they have a machine, or at least they had at this time, a machine that was using very low temperatures. So it was probably somewhere around the -20. They have their own serums that you apply, and especially in the summer, my clients loved it. So yes, you do have professional care using cryotherapy, but once again, you will pay much more for one treatment to go to professional that you will get for yourself at home. It is very pleasant someone else to do it. There is definitely difference into how your skin is reacting, the products that you will get. Plus, it is very nice someone else to do it for yourself rather than you doing it. You can relax much more. but also it is related with timing and budget. So you have professional care that is using cryotherapy as well, and for home care, for me, the best cryo tool will be your ice globes. As this tool is gaining popularity, you will definitely see a variety of products with variety of prices, shapes, material, and very often people are getting very confused which one is the best. Is the most expensive one the best? Will it make such a huge difference? Should you invest in it? So there are a few different options when we're talking about picking the tool for yourself. Obviously budget will be the main one, but also you have to bear in mind, as I already mentioned, that some of the tools can go only in the fridge, not in the freezer. That's one. The second is the material will make a difference from point of view how long it will retain the low temperature. So the liquid into your glass sphere will be what will retain this low temperature for longer or not that much. The material as well, whether it's glass or it's stainless steel, it's plastic or anything else, also will make a huge difference of keeping the low temperature for longer, as well as for how long you should keep them in the fridge or freezer in order to get this low temperature. Because let's face it, sometimes you don't keep everything where it's supposed to be. Say you keep your ice globes into the box and then you think, you know what, I want to do something, and then you think, oh, I had to do this last evening. There are options for globes that will get this low temperature much quicker than other, so this is also something that will depend on the material of your product. So when we are looking into shapes as well, you will see a lot. There are globes which are like circles, some are smaller for say the eye area or specific lines if you want to use them. Some are larger that could be used also for the body, and those are like a sphere that you keep in the fridge or freezer depending on the manufacturer, and then you put it inside and you apply it all over the face. You have some that are looking a bit more like a ladder, like a giant spoon or something like this, that are, according to the manufacturer, easier to use and adjust towards the face shapes. You have some that are larger, some that are smaller, some that are obviously with stainless steel, some that are glass with liquid. So you do have a lot of options. The main thing that I do have to advise you is to check out really the reviews, and don't think that if you spend £20 it will be the same like if you spent 60. Often I can see images in social media for tools that arrived already broken. So if you will pay some amount of money, my advice, check for something at least 30-40 pounds in order to get a decent product. Can you go for 150? By all means, yes, but my tool is also not something super expensive. It costs around £35. I think it's pretty decent and I'm quite happy with it. Probably the two most famous brands with the best reviews that I can see are, one is called Aceology, and these are actually the ice globes that need only 10 minutes in order to get the temperature that you want to apply them on the skin. So they will cool down very quickly, they retain their low temperature very quickly, but I do have to say they are not so easy to get if you're living in UK. If you're in the States or Australia, quite easily, but for here it's a bit difficult. The brands that actually started the whole trend is Fraîcheur or Fraîcheur. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but it is French brands. The lady that created the product was only 24 years old in 2018 when she started the whole company. It is growing, it is huge. They are manufacturing very specific type of globes. First, they are shatterproof and chip-proof glass. They are handmade. They have variety of around 10 different sparkling colors inside. You can keep them in the freezer. They have great reviews. I do have to say, I personally haven't tried them, but from what I can see, I don't think I actually have seen any bad review. So that's a big one. From the one that are a bit more affordable and you can get here, look fantastic, have Style Pro globes. They're around £35 for a pair of them, and I do think they're quite decent as well. I will add link into the description box as well. I have to say that this video today is once again not sponsored or affiliated. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and consider subscribing to the channel. Find me and follow me in social media, in Instagram and TikTok for more beauty content. I hope I see you next week. Have a lovely day and thank you for watching.